Well, it's happened again. One thing is for sure, and that is that if you're Donald Trump and you play golf, it could be dangerous. Let's talk about it. So there was a supposed assassination attempt. Now I say supposed because there was a guy who was arrested who left his gun and some vests, in a sense, I guess, behind at a golf course where Trump was playing golf. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment this person's intentions were not to go out and see whether or not he could have a hit with Donald Trump. I'm quite sure his intentions were probably to for Trump to get close enough so he could have a shot at him, even though that's kind of unknown. So what I'm curious about is a number of things. Is why would Trump continue to play golf? Because it is in a space which is really hard for the security services, the Secret Service, to cover. That they have to go apparently so as he plays golf, every couple of holes, they have to be in front of that, surveying the scene to ensure that it's safe. And there's a story, I think, that a drone noticed someone in amongst the bushes. They notified the security people, and they took a shot at that person. That person was not able to take a shot at Donald Trump. So does an assassination attempt come about because someone's thinking or planning an assassination, or does it come at the time that a bullet is fired? So I don't know, but apparently, according to the Americans, it comes at a time when someone was actually planning and close by and had a gun in their hand. Now, I would suspect that alongside that, the road that runs alongside the Trump golf course, there were thousands and thousands of people travelling down that road. It appears to be quite busy. And there would have been thousands and thousands of people who were actually carrying guns, because after all, it is the United States, and that's what they do. They carry a lot of bloody guns. So, but this guy got out of his car with his rifle and some protective gear and a camera in order to be able to record the event that he hoped obviously would happen. Now, as a result of all of this, though, the Republicans have decided that it was the Democrats' fault. The Democrats have clearly decided, I think, that this is a product of the United States, which in my opinion it is. And there's a group of people who are also saying that it's the security services' fault for not protecting the environment securely enough to prevent this guy from getting there in the first place. I actually think it's Donald Trump's fault, because he should give up golf at least until November the 6th, because up until that time, there may be some crazy people out there who want to have a shot at him. Also, Donald, don't do outdoor rallies. Do rallies that are indoors, that are far more secure. And if Donald Trump chose to do the things that he probably could be doing to secure his own safety rather than being a complete moron, perhaps the security services would find it easier to be able to secure his safety than what they currently are able to do at the moment. However, there's going to be there's a number of things here. I'm forever amazed at how in the United States these things happen. They don't tend to happen with the same sort of regularity as they do in other countries. They don't seem to happen as regular in other countries. Never happens here in Australia, but it happens in the United States because so many people have access to, in this case, an AR-47. If they didn't have access to those guns, would there be the likelihood of an assassination attempt? Well, there might have been. You know, you could probably get a high-end rifle, maybe that's not a repeat rifle. You probably could get some dude who is a really good shot from a long distance. But there again, if you're shooting from, say, 300 metres away, I reckon you still have to be a good shot to hit a target. But the United States doesn't seem to understand, or the people in the United States don't seem to understand, that this problem is not a democratic problem, it's not a Republican problem, it's just your problem. You're the ones that have created this mess by allowing guns to be available to almost everybody, and you're the ones that are responsible, because the rhetoric that you put up... Now, this is the other thing. The Republicans are saying now that because the Democrats are saying that Trump is a threat to democracy, which if he implements some of the policies according to Project 2025, he is, and the fact that he is a clown and that he's going to be used by those people who want extreme power, and that he will eventually find ways to get rid of the justice system and get rid of the Constitution and a whole host of other stuff that he's declared he'll probably do. So in that sense, he is a threat to democracy. Now, I don't think necessarily that is such an aggressive statement that it means that people are going to pick up their guns and go and shoot him. I think that if we learn anything from January the 6th, was that Trump's side of things are more likely, the Proud Boys and others are more likely to decide to be violent than anybody that we notice on the side of the Democrats. But of course, then they start to extend a little bit further now, and they say that Antifa and the extreme left are just as likely to become violent as anybody else, forgetting that their extreme right is very militant anyway and are just as likely to cause violence than what the extreme left might do. But the reality is, you have an extreme right and you have an extreme left. This is your problem. And your problem, frankly, is that the rhetoric that parties use creates violence. And when you create violence and people are able to access violent tools such as repeat rifles or assault rifles, then certainly there's every likelihood that some idiot is likely to see this as an opportunity to emphatically express their ideals, whether that be a religious ideal, whether that be a nationalistic view of the world, whether it be a Christian nationalist view, whether it be an ethnic view. At some point, someone is likely to say, okay, this is my moment because I have access to the weapon that could do a great deal of damage and destroy that person whom I see as my enemy. And I think this is one of the important things that perhaps the United States needs to learn, not that they'll ever listen to me, but certainly they need to learn that it's not about dividing their nation. And this is something we need to learn in Australia as well. So we're all struggling with this idea that we need to find ways to work together regardless of our differences. We need to understand other people's perspectives, even though we may choose not to agree with them. We need to be able to be empathetic enough to be able to understand that there are circumstances where people are being harmed, whether it be financially, whether it be the fact that they're homeless, whether it be through some form of abuse, whether it be even systemic abuse, caused by and influenced by governments. Whatever that might be, we need to understand the impact. We need to understand the impact that decisions have on people in our community. And we need to find better ways of working with our community. And the one thing that we should never do, which I find the Republicans doing more often than not, and it is to demonise people that they disagree with. And that in itself the demonising of people is about dehumanising them, so that other people, the crazy people in this world, will find it easier to make excuses for violent behaviour because those people are insignificant, because they're meaningless, or because they're damaging, or because they're going to affect our society in a certain way, or affect me in a certain way. So I think this is one of those moments where Americans need to take a deep breath, think about the way their society has come, stop blaming the other side, because both sides are responsible, both sides, and to find better ways of being. Let me know what you think. What sort of ideas would you suggest in order for America, without blaming, for America to become a better place in which to live? Let me know in the comments section below. In the meantime, take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.